So a few of my preceding presentations obviously discussed some of the things we're going to discuss also. But we're going to discuss now a new opportunity, how to distribute your applications. So developing an application is obviously the first step in bringing an application to the world. But it's only the first step. You need to market it and develop and have a success in your marketing abilities for it to be a success. So what are your marketing and distribution alternatives? So first of all, as Ram told this morning, you can reach agreements with the OEMs. You can reach agreements with OEM, with the carriers, with manufacturers. There are a lot of options, but obviously it's very, very expensive. It takes a lot of time, and obviously most developers do not have these abilities and don't have the resources to reach these carriers. So again, a lot of opportunities, but a lot of money, and when you have a company that most of it is a developer, project management, QA, and you don't have half the company running around the world talking with carriers and OEMs. So obviously you need a marketing strategy, you need to design a campaign, you need to buy places on app stores, which also takes time, but also takes a lot of money, and at the end of the day you're not sure with all the money you've spent how many downloads you're going to receive and what kind of users will download your application and then use it. So now I'm going to show exactly what our opportunity is talking about. So we are showing a backdoor into installation of your applications. So Cellebrite, which I'm going to show in a few slides, we have a point of sale solution that every customer which buys a new phone gets his content transfer from his old phone to his new phone. Doing this, we also preload up to 10 mobile applications at the point of sale. So it means that every new customer that buys a new phone at the point of sale will receive his new phone with 10 applications pre-installed on it. So this is our device. You can see it outside in our booth. So it's a device, as I said, which helps the customer transfer all his contacts and content from his old phone to a new phone. During this transfer, up to 10 applications are installed on the new device. So when the customer exits the shop, he has his new phone, but with up to 10 applications already pre-installed on it. Obviously, we are here to find the right developers to have your apps pre-installed on these phones. So obviously, you have the application installed on the user's phone, which is obviously very important. But more than that, when the customer first sees your app and not the competitor's app, he thinks that your app is better. You have more stickiness because he has no need to search for other applications. He already is using your application. And what is nice is you only deal with us. We have a global reach of 150 carriers. You come to us, and I'll soon show our management application. But all you do is maintain a relationship with us, and we maintain all the relationships with all the carriers worldwide. So the partnership is very easy. You go on the website. At the end, there will be a slide with the location of the website. You fill out a form, exactly what platforms you're interested, what your application does, what countries you're looking into receiving, and you can launch. What you need to do is then go into a website, upload your application, obviously edit the details of the application, exactly what builds are related to each application, and you're all set. The business model, which obviously is very, very important, is you actually pay for the installations. So you don't buy advertisement, you don't spend money traveling around the world, reaching the OEM or the carriers. You really are paying each time your application has been installed on the user's phone. So there's no money up front, there aren't any surprises, and you pay only for actual results. A bit about Cellebrite. So we're a more than 10 years old company. We have sold our product to 150 carriers worldwide. We have more than 80,000 such devices at the point of sale. These are some of the carriers that we work with. Obviously, all the brand names worldwide. So to make the story short, all you need to do is submit your application. You get access to multiple operators and retailers. Your application will be preloaded at the point of sale. Your app will get maximal exposure because it's preloaded on the phone. It's only 1 out of 10 applications which are pre-installed on a phone. We don't install hundreds of applications. You can just pay for the results and watch your install base grow. So as promised, we are outside, and any question can be answered now, or outside in our booth. We can also show you the process and get you registered. Questions?
So I'll start with questions. What percentage of revenue do developers get?
So currently, we don't take any of the revenue. We just get payment for installing the apps. Okay, because we believe that our value is installing the app, so that's the only share we get. Obviously, if there are other developers, we can reach other agreements also, maybe on revenue share and things like that. Obviously, we are sharing the revenue with the carriers. The carriers want to be part of this game because many of the carriers are not part of the app game. The app stores are, so they are getting obviously part of the revenue.
So
but we are dealing with that.
I'm a bit dumb. So I've got my £1 app that I give you. How much money do I get per download?
Per install? Yeah. So it obviously depends, but it depends per carrier, but it's around 10-20 cents per installation.
Okay, that's what I get.
Yeah. No, the opposite. That's what you pay.
Okay.
And you will get whatever the customer will buy.
Okay.
My name is Nerius. I'm a mobile developer, and I would like to know how do you decide to which users you install the application, so it would be right application for right people. What is the process? How do you decide?
Well, mainly, obviously, we cannot sell or install applications which aren't related to many customers, like offensive application, sex applications, and things like that. Gambling, because the carriers have their initial rules of what applications can be installed. But obviously, we're looking for applications which are going to the vast majority of users, so the developer will have the opportunity to make the most money. But in general, as long as the applications are not offensive, then we can distribute them at the point of sale.
Any other question? Or what kind of volume do you get today? Like a typical store that has...
Well, it really depends on the carrier, but currently we do, through our machines worldwide, we have 100 million transactions a year. So in a potential, after all the process, this is a new process after to launch with all the carriers, we're talking about a huge installation. What's important to say that the installation, nobody asks the user. So it's just pre-installed on the phone.
So you said there are no budget surprises. So I assume the model is that your client would set a budget and then you would allow that many downloads. But so there's a point at which you just stop doing the preloading once you hit that number.
Exactly. If you have a budget limit, then obviously we'll stop installing once you reach that limit.
Is there a minimum budget that you can tolerate, or could it be, as you said, on average 10 to 20 cents? Is there a minimum?
Currently, obviously, we won't start if someone doesn't have a budget of a few thousands, but we're not limiting because obviously we have a lot of space to install applications.
And do you have any statistics on conversion in terms of how many actually open the app? after having been preloaded?
I cannot share actual information because this is the propriety of the developers. And obviously the idea is that you come with us, you trial for, I don't know, a month or two, and really cover exactly your conversions from using the app, paying the app, and keeping it after a few months, and then continue.
Has anyone here used the system?
RAM system was launched this morning.
Okay, so you can't share because you're a sharer, but it's a bit short.
Yeah.
I have no idea what we've had since this morning.
Okay. Well, I'll ask the question later on today. Question at the back?
Yeah, Emmanuel, Magic Solver. I have a question about you install. Is it? Thank you. I have a question about you install. Is it through iTunes, for instance, or is it just you download directly on the phone, bypassing iTunes?
The iTunes part is not really part of the business. Okay, and with Apple, all we do is send an SMS to the phone with a download link directly to the App Store. We do not interfere with iOS, but mainly our main business is on Android and BlackBerry, where we really pre-install the application, and it's going to be like the application that an OEM pre-installs on the phone.
Okay, so it can't be pre-installed for iOS. It's for
on
Android
iOS, we don't do pre-install. No.
So how it works on iOS? You send an SMS?
In iOS, during the transfer, we can put SMSs on the phone, and the sales rep at the point of sale, because this process is done by a human being, he can click on the SMS and go directly to the App Store, click the install, and then it will install. But the main magic is not on iOS, it's on the other platforms.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just...
So I have two questions. Number one, I recently had a discussion with an OEM who was saying that they're finding only 30% of their handsets are actually distributed through point-of-sale terminals these days, and they see that shrinking. So how do you play in the world outside of point-of-sale, which you don't have to, it's okay. And the second one being, from a North American perspective, you guys are the ones who install all the bloatware on the handsets you buy at AT&T and Verizon and others, right? So most of your stuff can be uninstalled. That's the question. Number one, because there's some OEM stuff that cannot be uninstalled, and I assume you guys are the posts and can be uninstalled. I've heard of your company before, only unfortunately, I mean, it's a great business model, only unfortunately the negative side of the consumer saying, okay, first thing I did was then uninstall all these things. Still, the idea of a consumer not having the opportunity to say no is actually a potential problem.
So you asked two questions, although the second one I'm not sure I understood, but let's start with the first one. So as you said, we're dealing at the point of sale. Still, as stated, about 100 million customers a year going through the machine. This is the potential. Okay, we're not talking out of this business. The second question, I'm not sure what you were referring to because we still haven't launched this service in the US. So I don't know what you're referring to, but obviously when we pre-install, we let the customer then uninstall the app as other apps, because we cannot force the customer to have apps on his phone. If he doesn't want, he can uninstall them. But again, from a developer perspective, you had your opportunity. You were on the phone, the customer saw your app. If it's not good for him, then you did something wrong.
Hi, my name's Glenn Ward. I'm a freelance developer. Question I've got is, you say that you can put up 1 to 10 apps on the phone at install. If you've got hundreds of apps available to you that have been uploaded to your site or up for selection, how do you differentiate which of those are going to go on?
Well, currently, since we have also a huge volume, we still don't have that problem. But once we'll have it, we might work on seeing what the revenue is out of the app, what apps the users are using most, and then think of a way to decide who goes up and who doesn't. But currently the volumes are huge.
So what are you saying? You bid to get onto the phone?
Currently, no. Currently, if you fill up and we agree on the pricing, you will be on the phone. And the carriers that we launch you with, you will be on the phone.
Okay.
Can you choose the carrier, the device, this
Yeah.
kind of stuff?
Yeah, you choose everything.
Thanks.
We should have time for a couple of last questions.
Hey, I'm still a little confused. So, does the carrier pay you to put apps onto their devices?
No, currently the model is the opposite. The developers pays for the opportunity to be on the user's phone and the user to be using it, and we share this revenue with the carrier.
In my experience, carriers are more than willing to pay to have your app on their devices.
And we have two models. We are here to speak about the opportunity for the developers. Obviously, from a carrier perspective, we also have the other side. So with Vodafone Germany, they have the system, they put the apps, and they only pay us for the service. Okay, and how they deal with the developers is their business.
Well, why would a developer say use this service versus going straight to the manufacturers and negotiating directly?
Because if you have
and getting paid instead of paying.
Yeah, but the model that you're discussing is like maybe 10, 20 applications out there the carriers are even willing to have meetings with. And getting a meeting with a carrier and managing all these relations will cost you millions of dollars. And small developers, which is the vast majority of the developers, do not have that money. And to reach the understanding that the carriers want to pay for the application, you need to be somewhere, something, someone needs to know about you. So reaching this critical mass, like the first 100,000 users, the first million users, this is a great way to be because you know how much it's going to cost you to have these user base.
So the kind of apps you see are freemium, I guess?
Yeah.
No, rather than people who give the apps away.
Yeah.
Is that a fair
Yeah,
statement?
the freemium in-app purchases that they have the ability to make money later. Or they want the company to be sold. So they need only the users. They don't care about the revenue currently.
You should write a book, How to Trick a VC. We'll talk about this later on. One last question, maybe? Is everyone just eager for coffee? That sounds like. Oh, quick question down there.
Hello. How do you bypass the normal app review process that is necessary on quite a lot of carriers and operated apps?
Again, since we have this relations with the carriers we work with, they want to share the revenue. So they have a person responsible, but the process is much shorter. He gives us the list of requirements, and then like a few hours review, and it's enough for him.